This is one of those jobs I've been trying to get around to for ages, and it's been far too cold to come and work out here. So I've kind of put them off, but I'm finally going to get inside this JX-3P. Now, as you can see, somebody's already been inside this because there are a number of screws that are missing. And looking at this, I think it's going to be these screws around the edge here that need to come off for me to get inside this. And there's obviously some other stuff that's attached to it, so there's another couple of screws there that might have to come off. So I think we'll kind of just play this by ear and see what happens. So let's get the screwdrivers and let's get going. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this strip here off first, because although it's a guard, I'm not sure what else it's holding on, and whether it needs to come off or not, do not know, but let's start with that one. As you can see, years of dust. Need a good clean. Right, put that to one side. Now this is my trusted, what I call a bitzer box. And what I tend to do with this is I tend to put the screws I take off instruments into this, so I know which instruments they've come off, so that I can put them back. Right. Next I'm going to go around these screws around the edge and see what they are attached to. Let's see if I turn this over. I think the end panels need to come off. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Okay, I had to go and hunt for another screwdriver, and it seems a daft thing, but my normal range of screwdrivers that I keep here are electrical screwdrivers, and they have this sort of electrical insulation on them, which is all good for sort of like going and prodding 240 volts, etc. But not so good for trying to get in through this little hole here to the screw that attaches this to the synthesizer. And the reason why it wasn't coming up is because if you see here, there is a ledge. Let's do that side on like that so you can see, oops, that ledge there. I'm just holding my finger making a right to pig's ear of that. There's a ledge, and that ledge just goes underneath there that holds the backboard on. So now that's off, I'll just put that screw back in there so it stays safe. I can get into it. So let's take this side off. It's just 2 screws, posi drive screws. That's number 1. There's number 2. Put that like that. All butterfingers. Right, now let me just reposition the keyboard back to centre of camera. That's about there, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So with a little bit of luck, we can now open this up. And what can be seen very clearly is, Gary, it needs a damn good clean. In fact, it needs a very good clean. Hey. Okay, now we're inside the machine. A little bit of show and tell, I suppose. Power comes in there. This is the primary board, transformer, power board, conditioning, voltage regulators, etc. At the top here, that's the MIDI board, main control board, outputs, etc. And this is the logic board for the JX-3P. And that little bugger there is the battery, which I don't have in stock. I'm going to have to go and order that now that I know what it is. Going to get my head in shot. And I would say at some point this has had an upgrade, because that's got a chip holder in it, and I don't know what that is a chip holder for, but I would say that is probably the ROM chip, so that's probably a firmware upgrade at some point. But Gary, it is absolutely filthy. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean. I'm not going to do that on camera because that's really boring, but I am going to give it a little bit of a clean and just get rid of all these dust bunnies that are actually in the machine. And that kind of wraps up just getting inside. Next thing to do is start thinking about how we're going to do some repairs on this. Okay, I'm not 100% sure whether this will come across on camera, but while I was cleaning the sort of worst of the dust out of here, I thought to myself, you're probably sitting there thinking, why are you cleaning the dust out of this synthesizer? Well, 2 reasons predominantly. Number 1, it just makes it a little bit nicer environment for me to work on, because I'm not covered in dust bunnies and stuff like that. And the second reason is actually more prevalent to the reason why I'm doing this, is that if you have dust in here, dust can act as a conductor and therefore can do things like bridge contacts, and it actually has been known to cause problems in the past, or just make things not work correctly, because the dust is actually performing an electrical contact depending on what type of dust you have. So I'm not sure it comes across on camera, but I've given this a sort of quick once over. It is considerably less dusty than it was, and there are all the dust bunnies I think I've got now. So the next job is to get a battery ordered in, and also we've got some problems with the volume pots, which are up here somewhere if I remember correctly, so we're going to work out how we're going to deal with those. But that's it for this particular video, getting into the JX-3P. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye bye.